The first trick your brain plays on you, and arguably the most dangerous, is one that feels so natural, so reasonable, so obviously just how thinking works that most people never notice it is happening at all. It is called confirmation bias, and it works like this. Your brain does not process information neutrally. It does not weigh evidence objectively, consider all sides fairly, and arrive at the most accurate conclusion available. That is not what brains do. What your brain actually does is form a belief about a person, a situation, yourself, the world, and then systematically seek out, notice, and remember information that confirms that belief, while systematically ignoring, dismissing, and forgetting information that contradicts it. This is not stupidity. It is not weakness. It is a feature of human cognition that evolved because processing every piece of available information from scratch every time would require more energy than the brain can sustain. The brain takes shortcuts, and confirmation bias is one of its most used. The consequences, however, are profound. If you believe you are unlucky, your brain will notice every piece of bad luck and overlook every piece of good fortune. If you believe a person is untrustworthy, you will interpret everything they do through that lens. If you believe you are not capable of success, you will find evidence for that belief everywhere you look, while remaining genuinely blind to evidence that contradicts it. You are not seeing reality. You are seeing a reality your brain has already decided on. And the most unsettling part, you will feel completely certain that what you are seeing is simply the truth. You happy? It was designed to keep you alive. And for most of human evolutionary history, keeping you alive meant being extraordinarily sensitive to threat, danger, and negative information. And because missing a threat could kill you while missing an opportunity merely meant you stayed hungry a little longer. This evolutionary legacy lives in you today as the negativity bias, the deeply wired tendency of the human brain to register negative experiences more strongly, process them more thoroughly, remember them more vividly, and weight them more heavily than equivalent positive experiences. Neuroscientist Rick Hansen describes it this way: the brain is like Velcro for negative experiences and Teflon for positive ones. Bad events stick, good events slide off. Research consistently confirms this. A single harsh criticism will linger longer than 5 genuine compliments. A financial loss of a given amount will cause more psychological pain than an equivalent gain causes pleasure. One deeply uncomfortable social interaction will color your memory of an otherwise enjoyable evening. This bias shapes your self-perception, your relationships, your risk assessment, your mood, and your worldview. Constantly and invisibly, you are not a pessimist because you choose to be. You are a human being whose brain was built to prioritize the negative. Understanding this does not eliminate with it, and that changes everything. In 1999, psychologists David Dunning and Justin Kruger published a study that has since become one of the most cited findings in all of psychology, because it reveals something about human cognition that is simultaneously obvious in others and invisible in ourselves. They found that people with low levels of competence in a given area consistently overestimate their ability, not because they are arrogant or dishonest, but because the skills required to perform well in an area are largely the same. Skills required to recognize poor performance in that area. When you don't know enough to do something well, you also don't know enough to know that you're not doing it well. The result is a predictable pattern. Beginners feel highly confident. As people develop genuine expertise, their confidence initially drops because now they understand enough to see how much they don't know. True experts tend to be the most measured and qualified in their self-assessments, while the least competent tend to be the most certain. But here is the part that most summaries of this research leave out, and it is the part that is most personally relevant. The Dunning-Kruger effect applies to all of us in all the areas where our knowledge is limited, which is most areas for most people. Most of the time, the question is not whether you are susceptible to this. You are. The question is, in which areas of your life are you most confident? And here is a bias so consistent, so universal, and so consequential for human relationships that psychologists call it fundamental, meaning it appears to be a basic feature of how human minds process social information. When you observe another person doing something, making a mistake, behaving badly, failing at something, acting in a way you find difficult to understand, your brain's default explanation is a character explanation. They did that because of who they are, because they are lazy or selfish or incompetent or unkind. The behavior reflects something stable and internal about the person. But when you do the same thing, when you make the same mistake, behave in the same way, fail in the same area, your brain's default explanation is a situational one. You did that because of circumstances, because you were tired or stressed, or the situation was unusually difficult, or anyone would have done the same thing. The other person is defined by their behavior. You are explained by your context. This asymmetry, the fundamental attribution error, is responsible for an enormous proportion of human conflict, misunderstanding, and relational breakdown. We judge others by their worst moments and excuse ourselves by our best intentions. We assume we understand someone's character from a single observation. We build narratives about people from fragments of behavior and then treat those narratives as facts. Knowing this bias exists changes how you see people, and how you see people changes everything about how you move through the world. You have been in the relationship for 3 years. It is not working. You know it is not working. Every honest part of you knows it is not working. But you stay because of the 3 years, because of everything you have invested, because leaving would mean that all of that time, all of that energy, all of that hope was for nothing. You are in the career you chose at 22. It does not suit you. It does not fulfill you. But you have spent 10 years building it, getting qualified, climbing the ladder. Leaving would mean starting over, admitting it was wrong, losing everything you have put in. This is the sunk cost fallacy, and it is one of the most consequential ways your brain lies to you about the future by keeping you trapped in the past. A sunk cost is any investment of time, money, emotion, identity that has already been made and cannot be recovered. Economically, rationally, logically, past investments should have no bearing on future decisions. What matters is what lies ahead, not what has already been spent. But your brain does not work this way. Your brain registers the abandonment of a sunk cost as a loss, and loss, as we discussed, triggers a pain response that is disproportionate to the actual threat. So you stay, you continue, you double down on the bad investment, not because the future looks promising, but because the past feels too expensive to abandon. The past is gone. It does not change based on what you do today. The only question that matters is, given where I am right now, what is the best direction forward? You said something slightly awkward in a meeting. You have a small stain on your shirt you noticed too late. You stumbled on the stairs in a public place. Your voice cracked unexpectedly in the middle of a sentence. And for the rest of the day, possibly for the rest of the week, you cannot stop thinking about it, replaying it, imagining everyone who saw it, wondering if they are still thinking about it, feeling certain that it has changed how people perceive you permanently. This is the spotlight effect, the deeply human tendency to dramatically overestimate how much other people notice, think about, and remember what we do. Psychologists Thomas Gilovich and Kenneth Savitsky demonstrated this in a series of studies where participants were asked to wear embarrassing T-shirts into rooms full of people. Participants estimated that roughly half the people in the room would notice and remember the shirt. The actual number was closer to 20%, and even those who noticed rarely thought about it for more than a few seconds. The reason for the spotlight effect is straightforward. You are the center of your own experience. Your awareness is focused on yourself, your appearance, your performance, your mistakes, your impression on others. It feels from the inside as if that same spotlight must be visible to everyone around you. It is not. The people around you are almost entirely focused on themselves, their own performance, their own appearance, their own impression on others. The spotlight you feel so intensely exists almost entirely in your own mind. Ask yourself honestly, when was the last time a project, a goal, or a plan took exactly as long as you thought it would? When was the last time something important came in on time, on budget, with no unexpected complications? If you are like most people, the answer is rarely, if ever. And this is not because you are disorganized. It is because your brain has a systematic bias toward optimism when imagining the future that psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky identified and named the planning fallacy. When we imagine a future project or goal, we tend to construct a best-case scenario. We imagine everything going according to plan. We forget, discount, or simply fail to account for the inevitable complications, setbacks, competing demands, and unexpected obstacles that real life always produces. We also tend to focus on the specific project in front of us rather than drawing on our base rate of experience, the actual track record of how long similar things have taken us in the past. The result is consistent across cultures, industries, and domains. Projects take longer than planned. Budgets exceed estimates. Goals that seemed achievable in 3 months take a year. And rather than updating our planning process based on this consistent experience, will be different. Understanding the planning fallacy does not make you a pessimist. It makes you accurate. And accuracy about time, about resources, about what is actually required is the foundation of every plan that actually works. Or unrealistic or bad at planning, we tend to assume that next time. Subscribe Mind Decoded.